Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whenever you're listening to this. Welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Coaches podcast. I'm your usual host, Kevin, and today I have with me Marty Gilbert. I will try to keep this short. Marty is the founder and CEO of the largest job search company in the country, providing job search coaching packages and one-on-one coaching, custom coaching services. His experience, where to begin, includes an array of marketing, sales, general management roles across several industries. Motorola and StatSync being two big names you might recognize. I could say so much more, but I don't want to just read you his LinkedIn profile to you. Marty, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Great. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Let's begin at the beginning. What got you started in coaching, and what really prompted you to start a coaching practice?
Well, I was and have been for many, many years a coach of my own kids. I coached a lot of sports when they were growing up. It was soccer, basketball, baseball, and then travel teams. And so I've done a lot of sports coaching in my history. But when I was in a job search about 11 years ago, I pulled together 5 other people like myself who were either in the middle or latter stages of their career, and I formed a small job search accountability group. And so what started with 6 grew to 12 and 25 and 50. I landed rather quickly, but I kept the group going, and I just held the meetings in the evenings and while I was working 50 hours during my day job. Over that period of time, the word got out because I started to formalize the group a lot more. This was strictly a side gig for me. And what started with a group of 6 today is over 9,200 members. Probably, and so I decided 3 years ago to quit my day job and to do this full time. And so a big piece of what I do is coaching. But what I also have to augment it is the activities that the 9,000 members are getting involved with. And it's every 2 or 3 weeks, I'm doing an hour-and-a-half webinar on a job search topic. I'm doing 3-hour online workshops on job search topics. And in between, I'm either providing job search coaching packages that they can purchase right on my website, or one-on-one customized coaching on all different aspects of job search. Value proposition, resume critiques, LinkedIn profile critiques, how to brand and market yourself, interviewing skills, networking, a slew of things that everybody really needs to make themselves much more attractive in the marketplace, because 90% of the job search is marketing. And that's where a lot of people that are in a job search go wrong, because they think it's all about connecting with the HR department or with people in talent acquisition. And I tell them, quite honestly, those people have no money, they have no decision-making authority, and have little to no influence in the decision of who's going to get the job. So why would you put all your eggs in their basket? And that's why the marketing aspect and getting the word out to 5 or 6 people in every company of interest to you is such a big part of finding your next job. Okay, and so a lot of that coaching is and those theories are what I share with the people that I end up working with one-on-one particularly.
That is, I think that's tremendously powerful, because it really is, it's a perspective shift. And you identify that correctly. Most people, they do not approach job hunting in the way that actually gets results. Like you were saying, they're usually looking in the wrong places, asking the wrong people, the wrong questions, presenting themselves in a way that's not going to lead to them getting what they want. And I love thinking, and I know it could be hard for some people to think of themselves as an entity to be marketed. Some people find that, I think at first blush, some people will find it distasteful, but you just scratch the surface on that idea a little bit and you realize, no, this is the opposite of that. This is actually exactly how I want to make connections. If, empathically connect with people, maybe, I'm searching for a job. I'm looking obviously for something practical, but it really is, pardon me, about connection. And I just love the fact that you cover all the bases. I mean, you're a coach, but really it's almost like a university. You have all these different avenues that you address with the skill sets, with the coaching that you provide. I was going to ask you what's unique about your approach, but you're so focused and yet broad. Can you talk more about that? I just love your approach.
I'll give you one of my two big differentiators. Okay, one is that 98% of all the job search coaches in the marketplace are people that have grown up in HR or talent acquisition. I tell people, well, if 90% of the job search is marketing, These folks don't have that kind of background because they've never introduced new products and services. And by the way, a person going in looking for a job is a new product launch. The only difference is you are now that product, and you got to do all the things that you would do normally to launch a new product. Okay, what's your message? What's your value add? What's your unique competencies? How do you get the word out? And how do you connect with the audiences that you're segmenting? You do that with products, you got to do it with yourself. So one big differentiator is I'm not an HR or talent acquisition person. I am at heart a marketing person who's also sold and run businesses. And that's a big part of what the job search is. The second piece is the fact that I applied with the U.S. Patent Department about 2 years ago and was granted a trademark for my what the hell approach to job search. This is a very unique, proactive, somewhat unorthodox approach to job search because it's about marketing yourself, but most importantly, what the hell do you have to lose by doing things that other job seekers aren't doing? Because that's what it takes to stand out and communicate your value to the audiences. Because let's face it, there are on average 1 to 200 resumes applying to every job that's out there. And if you don't do things that are different, then you're just a piece of paper that's sitting at the bottom of the stack and may never get any visibility, even though you might in fact be the best candidate. So it's a lot about creating that visibility and awareness in a market who doesn't know anything about you. And that's why social media, digital marketing, all these email marketing are so important to anybody in a job search. So, with some people, I can coach them on how to do these things. What a lot of people have me do is actually get them started, do the initial work for them. Now they understand the process, and it can be replicated across any industry and any job function. It doesn't matter. So that's a big differentiator. I guess there is a third. And the fact is, I have a built-in captive audience. Okay, a lot of coaches don't have this. Okay, sure. But I've got 9,200 people that know and understand me and what I'm doing and what value I'm already bringing to them in the way of events. And so these are folks that can reach out to me at any point in time. I don't go out looking for clients. The clients, quite honestly, mostly come to me because I've got a big pool of members. But I also have, over 24,000 LinkedIn connections, and I'm very active on the platform. And so there's lots of easy ways to make, your presence known, what you can do for people. And then I have a lot of connectivity that comes back to me as a result of the outbound marketing that I do just to create some publicity around what kinds of things I can do for folks that are really in need right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you build it, they will come, and you have absolutely built it, and that's really is the way it truly works. Once you get to a certain level, is you have the network. That's why I keep coming back in my head to the analogy of a university, because you've got all these resources, people who are experts in their field, people who are in the same place that people who are hunting. They're right in the same level that they're like, oh, you're in the same boat that I am. That's interesting. All this different kind of interaction, all this different expertise, all just there being like, hey, come join us. There's so much for you to discover here. I'm finding the idea so powerful. I'm having trouble getting past just how amazing it is, how what you built is so perfect for what people need when they're hunting for a new job, when they're looking to promote themselves as the business that they are,
Yeah, and the fact is, I've made it easy for people to say yes to NSENG. Okay. Mm-hmm. By the way, the website is nsenginc.com. I know you might get to that at some point, but there is no cost of entry. The membership is free. You immediately get access to our 9,200 members. And I'm going to give you 3 free webinar recordings of mine on how to find a job during COVID-19 and Q&A sessions that you can have, okay, and learn from. Because I'm of the belief that if they like the experience and feel that I'm bringing value to them, then they will start paying eventually for the webinars, the workshops, and or my coaching. But I want to prove to them up front that this is a good place to be. And it's worked out well because there's a huge talent pool of high talent, and one of the things that I did do, particularly in the last 12 months, I've gone on speaking engagements, and it's obviously all being done online through webinars, but I have sought out some of the top universities in the country and have been speaking to their large alumni associations. And this is universities that include Harvard, Yale, Howard University, Chicago, Michigan. I did one with Cornell just a couple days ago. Wharton, the University of Pennsylvania. So, I've got a flow and an influx constantly of good talent, with the assumption that people that have gone to some of these schools have, obviously at some point in time landed some great jobs. And for whatever reason, some of them are on the outside looking in for their next opportunity. And so I constantly want to make sure that the talent pool in NSENG is very high, because that's a great selling point on why people should join.
I mean, you said it best. What the hell do you have to lose? Yeah. It's all right there. Try it. Let the audience hear me saying that. What the hell do you have to lose? This is a fantastic opportunity. If you are in need of a new job, if you are ready to look for something new, if you're at any stage in that process, you feel like the place to go. Is there anything else you want to put out there, promote? We've got you extremely active on LinkedIn, which I'm sure is the best place to connect with you, and your website. Anywhere else? Any other actions you'd like our audience to take?
Well, I do have I'm very small in Twitter. So it's not a place where people are going to see a lot of me. But I have, over the last 2 months in particular, have become far more active in posting on LinkedIn, a lot more thought leadership and doing surveys and sharing results, but providing advice to folks. For example, yesterday I did a 30-minute, free webinar on LinkedIn Live on five ways to shorten your job search, because that's the most agonizing thing about a job search, is not knowing how long it's going to take. And so I'm talking about 5 things you can implement tomorrow and make a difference in your traction, and ultimately with the speed at which you'll be able to engage your audiences, get more interviews, and of course, in the long run, land faster than others. So I urge people to go and take a look at the website. We've got, webinars and workshops going on every 2 or 3 weeks, and they'll constantly see these being updated. A couple of the upcoming ones is, one is on March 8th. I'll be conducting an 1.5 hour webinar on how to beat age discrimination in your job search. And this is a huge issue, because anybody over the age of 45 is potentially the target of ageism. And particularly anybody over 50 has been experiencing it. I'll have another session, a 2.5 hour online workshop on the 23rd of March, and these are all in the evening, that will be on how to maximize the value of LinkedIn during your job search, because the average job seeker probably understands at most 40% of what LinkedIn can deliver for them. And we get into a lot of the more hidden features of LinkedIn, and how, you can do a lot of things here to engage the audience you're trying to reach. Because there's just so much you can do with LinkedIn groups, by posting things, by you can find all the right people. I tell people I can develop a corporate org chart probably within 5 minutes, just by using LinkedIn, because I know how to navigate through it and find people that they're connected to, which eventually enables me to paint a picture of the organizations that I want to be getting to if I was in a job search.
What are y'all waiting for?
I know.
Marty, we've already been talking for a little while. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for bringing what you have to offer to this audience. This has been fantastic. Find him on LinkedIn. Get on the website. Sign up for those workshops. If there's anything you ever wanted to know, if there's anything you're not even sure you ever knew you wanted to know about the job search for yourself, for others, your loved ones, your coworkers, just in general, this is the place to do it. Marty, thank you so much for being here.
Let me just, I think one thing, Kevin, I would just like to mention is my email address. Anybody can reach out to me through email. It's Marty Gilbert, the number 1 @gmail.com. So MartyGilbert 1 @gmail.
Access to the inbox. That's pretty sweet. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll talk to you again soon.